This is one of those hop-up finds that came to my door and I was really excited about, and there were a couple issues with it. Now, I actually picked it up originally because I wanted these 5 mags that came with it. These are the Lancer mags, which are also compatible with any MWS system, so that was really cool, and I found it at a good deal. And this guy came in at a pretty solid price, and it externally looked like it was abused, but internally it was pretty solid. So I actually went ahead and gave it a little paint job, as you could see. And we'll be doing a review video on this thing soon. But what we're really here to talk about, and what I'm sure you tuned into this video for, is the mags. When I had picked up these mags, the owner hadn't let me know that they had 3D printed feed lips. He had forgotten. And then there were a couple other problems as well. Like some of the stop on empties weren't working, the springs weren't active, and some of them were just entirely missing them. And some of them were missing the necessary hardware, and it was just an absolute mess. And when I had picked these up originally for this, there weren't any photos that were showcasing any other parts of these mags, so I had just assumed they were in good condition because nothing said in the description. But I reached out to the guy who sent them to me, and he was kind enough to refund me enough of the price to pick up 5 of these CYMA CGS mag rebuild kits. And I gotta be honest, the fact that CYMA offers these is absolutely clutch. So see, these just replace all of the parts, the feed lips, the stop on empty, it comes with everything, your follower, the gas router, and these are like $8. So I picked up 5 of these. We're just gonna replace all of them, and we'll do that in this video. So I'm gonna actually replace like one of them just so you could see the entire rebuild kit, and then I'll do the rest on my own. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with this guy. Just make sure that it's completely gassed out, right? And all we have to do is start disassembling it. We're gonna disassemble the top first. It should just be easier that way. And I'm going to replace all of the parts, even though I don't need to replace every single part, just so that in case you are following this for any part specifically, yeah, you can follow it that way. I'm going to pop this guy out, and this guy out. And then the next thing that we have to do, and be careful, this is where everything's kind of under spring tension because the follower is going to push it up and out of place. We have to knock this pin out. Just taking a look, it looks like it's not all the way knocked in, unfortunately. And the knurled side is right here. So we're going to push it the furthest direction out. So I'll pull this pin and punch over, and we'll just knock it out the rest of the way. But again, remember, it's going to be under spring tension, so I like to just keep a hand on it too. These pop out pretty easily. Okay. Again, keep a finger on it. Don't lose that guy. Boom. Keep the pin aside. Don't lose it. And here comes your spring. Absolute mess, as per usual. Your follower, which you can see is actually missing the mechanism that we're going to need in a minute. That's going to help engage the stop on empty lever. Your follower, or I'm sorry, your feed lips and your gas router. Inside you're going to find 2 extra parts. Obviously one is missing from this mag, but you'll find this little guy and another plastic piece that's going to be sitting in the back that latches onto your bolt stop. Here's what we're going to do now. We're going to rebuild just the top part. Inside of your little bag, you're going to find the feed lips, and that smaller bag, you'll have your BB follower, you'll have this arm that we took out before, this little plastic piece which we didn't see before that we're actually missing in the previous takedown, the router, and then there's 2 really small pieces. We'll keep the guide rod for later. You didn't see these as well. These parts are going to go inside of the follower. So we'll actually attack that first. If we take our follower, I'm going to flip it upside down. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the spring. I'll try and show you this as best I can. I'll zoom in for you. You see that little nub there? That fatter nub is going to go into that hole on the follower, like this. But now what we have to do is get the spring on this notch and this protrusion at the top on the inside of the reservoir, so it'll sit like this. I'm going to put the spring in between there, so I'll show you how that works now. The easiest thing to do is to just set the spring up like that. Drop it into the follower, and then pry it down. It'll sit just like that, and it should have spring tension against it. That's what's going to engage the first plastic rod that connects to our stop on empty. We could place that aside for just a second. We're going to install the router. Should install that direction so that it kind of ramps up towards the feed lips. Now if you just go ahead and grab the mag, we're going to take this piece and this piece. I'm going to start by dropping this piece in like that, so it sits in that little concave. And then we'll take this piece, and with the flat side, not the side with a little protrusion, this direction. There you go. Boom. See that? Now, we'll drop our follower. Just make sure you set it so that the little nub that we had poking out is on the right side of the mag, and the spring is facing in towards the gas router. And that guy should just pop in and past. Next, we'll take our gas router and our feed lips, place those on top. And honestly, I find it easiest to knock the pin through first, and then we'll hit the screws. Make sure the pin lines it out, not the screws. So go ahead and drop it in there. And we should be able to knock this in place. Chances are, if it doesn't go in all the way nice and smooth, it's just because you're not applying enough tension downwards against the gas router to get the holes to line up all the way. Now with the pin installed, it should be super simple. Just drop those countersunk screws back in. Number one. Just want to make sure they're flush. Don't go too tight because they are countersunk, and going into plastic, they could crack that really easily. Just enough so that they are flush with the top so it doesn't interfere with your nozzle. Now to get the spring and spring guide in, we're just going to pop this pin, pull this out, and be careful. This screw is the only screw holding this entire sleeve into the mag reservoir and everything. So as you unscrew this guy, just keep a hand under it or keep it against the table or something. You'll see what I mean. Bingo. So that guy comes loose. I don't know why there's not another screw to hold that in, but there's not. And there is our gas reservoir. Now we have to pull these two screws out. So we'll switch out our bit. Something a little larger. This guy's going to be under some O-ring tension. So it's a good time to check out your O-rings. If you have to change any of them, you can. There's also O-rings at the base of these screws too, I believe. Yeah, so you can see there's your O-ring. There's your gas reservoir. And be careful, these are like some metal rods that you thread into, and they're actually loose. You can go ahead and like move them around and pull them out. If you ever do pull them out, just put it in like long ways and then twist it into place. It's got two notches on either side, so that'll help you keep that in place. And you can see the O-rings in the base of these two screws. Make sure those aren't worn out. That's going to help keep a gas seal. Here is your guide rod. So if you were to change your guide rod out, all you're going to do is unscrew this guy. It screws in, threads into the base of the guide rod. I'm not going to do it just so you could see it. That's that extra piece that comes in your rebuild kit. And you would just put it all back together. Super simple. So we got to drop the spring in place. This is the most miserable part of the experience, in my opinion. So be careful. It's a lot of just like slowly walking it. You have to keep a thumb on top of this. Otherwise, it'll start to just spring itself outwards. And you can see, make sure that you're going over your spring guide. See that? Oh, I lost one of them. Okay, I'm going to show you how to fix that in a second. We're going to walk this guy in because chances are you're going to lose it again anyways. Those little metal rods that you thread into. Takes a little bit of finger coordination here. Once you get to this point, I actually find it's probably easiest to press it down all the way and then get a fingernail on it so you can hold it in place. We'll go ahead and drop the one we lost out, if I can ever wiggle it out of here. Of course, it's in like the dumbest location possible. I am now missing more than one. So on the inside of there, there's a wider side and a thinner side. For the wider side, you're going to want to put the like more flat edge, if that makes sense. And it's just going to go right in there. See that? Do the same this way, and hopefully everything goes smoothly. I don't have to tilt it out of place again. Don't drop it. This is one of those designs that I can't stand. We'll grab our follower and our base plate. Make sure our screw holes are lined up, and as quick as possible, drop those screws in and get them started. Sorry if I'm a little off camera. All right. Now remember, we got to smush those O-rings in place so we can keep a good gas seal. So chances are you're going to have to crank these down by hand just a little bit. Don't strip them, but crank them down. Now, drop the mag back in. We'll do that one little goofy screw that holds the entire thing in place for whatever reason. Just here. It doesn't always want to line up perfectly, which is something that I've noticed. If you wiggle the mag around, it should find its home. Again, it's a countersunk against plastic. Just be careful. Cool. And now just to make sure everything works, if you press down the stop on empty, your follower should move. So obviously this guy won't engage again until the BBs come all the way up to the top and allow the follower to catch the stop on empty latch. And we should be able to have some gas lying around. Let me just pop this guy out. I'm gonna have to drill holes in the base of these. Just a little bit. First things first, there's absolutely no leaks, which is awesome. And then we'll grab the CGS, throw this guy in place, make sure we are on semi, and we should have a bolt lock on empty. If we release the bolt, fire it once. Oh, I was holding the bolt latch, sorry. There you go. And we stop on empty. And that, my friends, is 1 of 5. Wish me luck. Peace.